Welcome to Brand Lover, honest, real, and lively conversations for flourishing entrepreneurs and budding business owners on a mission to cultivate a heartfelt brand that connects with their purpose-driven mission. My hope is that you walk away feeling inspired and refreshed with a weekly takeaway in your back pocket that you can apply to your life or business. Before we get stuck into this week's episode, I want to invite you to my free, brand new online training called Design Secrets. Insider tricks of the trade to design wow-worthy marketing collateral, even if you don't have a creative bone in your body. I'm going to be sharing the 5 essential design rules, 3 of my insider tips to live and die by when you are creating your marketing graphics, my personal fail-safe process of design. This is going to save your butt over and over. And I'm also going to be hosting a live Q&A at the end of the session. You can ask me anything you like with regards to branding or design. It is going to be held on Friday, the 3rd of May at 10 a.m. Adelaide time. If you head to the page, you will get a time zone converter. So if you're not sure about time zones, please click that. This session is 100% free to you, sponsored by the Branding Hub. So head to the link in the show notes or head straight to www.rachelreiter.com/design secrets to save your seat. I'm so excited. I can't wait. One of the biggest mindset hurdles you need to overcome if you know in your heart that a rebrand is on the cards is the actual practical flow-on effect of it all. You know, when you want to do something in your business, but you don't know how to do it, and it usually puts you off, right? So you have these amazing ideas, but you're just not sure how to execute it. You know what you need to be doing to get forward, to move forward, to bring your brand in alignment. But that how do I do that question hangs over your head and stops you. It's like a barrier. So you either procrastinate, deleting it off your list, or constantly shoving it to the bottom of your list. But all this is doing is either stagnating your growth or, even worse, sending you on a backwards trajectory. And the longer you leave it, the harder it gets. And I know that you know this already, but sometimes we just need that someone to give you a little nudge. Because the more marketing collateral you create, the longer your brand trail becomes. And not only that, the more familiar people become with your existing non-aligned branding that you don't want them to be familiar with. And so it's kind of like this vicious cycle, and it stops you from showing up, and it stops you from reaching your full potential, and it stops you from really connecting or attracting the most aligned people for your brand. And it also stops you, I guess, stepping towards that true vision for your future, and it stops that coming to fruition because you're actually heading in a wrong direction with your existing brand. All right, so most often in this scenario, from what I've seen and from the clients that I work with, everything comes to a head, or there is a catalyst that forces you to finally make the decision to bite the bullet and commit to a rebrand. And once you make that decision, not only will you feel lighter, but you'll be determined to make it work. You know that feeling when you've been putting it off and putting it off. It happens to me all the time. And then all of a sudden you get sick of thinking about it, or you get sick of hearing your own thoughts, or, you know, in my case, my husband gets sick of me talking about it. He's like, Rachel, just do it. And you make that decision, and and all of a sudden it's like, okay, I've made that decision. Now I've got to put these steps in motion to actually get this thing off the ground. So when you have a clear pathway with an action plan of how to pull it off, and it all makes sense in your mind, it will feel a lot more achievable. So if you're at that point, or almost at that point, first, I want to congratulate you. And second of all, I'm going to give you the exact steps that I share with my one-on-one clients to not only successfully pull off a rebrand, so your audience comes on board to cheer you on rather than scratching their heads in doubt when they see, for example, a different Instagram handle pop up in their feed, freak out and unfollow, but also to leverage your rebrand to have the most impact possible. And that's what you really want, because you really want to be having that impact, and hopefully including a cash flow injection and using the rebrand to help to facilitate that. So the actual rebrand is not usually the problem. In theory, if you could guarantee your return on investment plus navigate the process with ease, everybody would be doing it. Like everybody that felt like they wanted a rebrand, or they were embarrassed by their logo, or they didn't want to send people to their website because it's shamefully embarrassing. If you get to that point where you recognize that you would like to rebrand, if you could guarantee that you would make the money back that you're investing by working with a brand designer, and know that the process is going to be seamless and easy, why wouldn't you be doing it? And it's usually this wrapping your head around how to pull it off and the fear of it not working that is the most off-putting. But the thing is that the power lies with you. And if you make that decision and you're determined to make it work, it's going to work. So let's wrap your head around how to get the most out of your rebrand and how to make it work and how to guarantee that you give it the best possible start, that you can, catapulting your new brand into existence and setting it onto that positive trajectory into your future, with these 3 tips. Okay, so the first tip is to keep your audience warm. Do not keep it a secret that you're rebranding. I've seen this happen before with clients that they're like, I just want to get it all done. I want to get my ducks in a row, and then I'm going to announce it. I'm going to just like make this big announcement. And maybe that works for big businesses because they have such a, they have more brand awareness, but for small business, it doesn't work. So you really need to keep your audience warm by inviting their engagement and participation within the whole journey of the rebrand, including right from the beginning when you engage working with somebody, to let them know that change is coming. Human beings hate change. I don't know what it is, but it's a natural sort of reaction to try and protect ourselves from change. And this can even be as simple as your favorite brand changing their logo. Undoubtedly, you will hear comments like, oh, I hate that logo. Why did they change it? But in the same vein, they eventually get used to it, and it just becomes what it's intended to be, which is a symbol to associate with the brand, and that's exactly what it does. So it's an interesting thing, and once you understand the psychology, you can work against how you can anticipate how the human brain is going to react. So by inviting their engagement and participation, this evokes a sense of importance, that they're important to you, that they belong in your tribe, in your community, and it indicates that you value their input, that it's not all about you, because at the end of the day, your brand is about them, and you don't want them to ever feel like they're not part of it. Do you know what I mean? And social media in particular these days does put your brand, the control of things into the hands of users, because they get to decide, how popular something is by how they engage with something, or how they like something, or how they share something. So it's always a good idea to keep your audience close, keep them in the fold, keep them feeling like they're important to you. It makes them feel validated, and everybody at the end of the day just wants to feel seen, heard, and validated. So the easiest ways to engage with your audience in this kind of scenario would be with something like Instagram polls, voting on different colors, even if you've picked your colors already, or if you're choosing between 2 shades of blue, for example. Just getting them involved is the most important thing. So choosing fonts or different designs, or asking which one they resonate with more, or even just sharing sneak peeks and inviting them to comment, inviting suggestions, although that can open up a can of worms. So just really, at the end of the day, what I mean to say is just keep sharing the process, like share throughout the entire process, step by step, what's going on behind the scenes. Even if you don't want to share too much, you can share sneak peeks and snippets. And even if you get sick of hearing yourself talking, it is so important to keep reminding them that change is on the horizon. Give them a countdown, help them to understand that this is happening, because especially when you're using social media as a tool like this, it takes several interactions for that information to sink in. because most users are there for a passive scroll. They're not sort of actively wanting to engage. They're actually there to switch off. So just keep reminding, and it will eventually subconsciously sink in. Just remember to keep your requests for feedback really specific, and don't sort of open the floor for like an open forum on what they think your brand should be. At the end of the day, you're in the driver's seat. You know the direction that you need to take. This is more about just keeping your audience warm and keeping them in the loop so that when the change comes, they can recognize it and they know what to expect. So I gave away this little tip just very briefly in that first point. But the second is to count down to the big reveal. Keep reminding your audience of the change, especially if you're changing your name. It's important that people know what's coming and what to expect and when. If you randomly change your Instagram handle without warning, you're not going to be doing yourself any favors. Don't do it in secret. Don't just think you're going to fly under the radar and make this change and do a post about it and everything's going to be fine. You will lose followers. So you need to keep promoting more than you think you need to. Remembering that only about 1% of your social media audience is actually going to see any of your posts. So just bearing that in mind, have a countdown going on, even on your website. Be transparent about different changes that are coming, and especially if somebody's thinking about purchasing from you or engaging your services, if they come to visit your website and then 1 month later come to that same website, if things are different, that's going to be confusing for them. And as you know, confused audiences, they don't buy. If nothing's clear to them, they're just going to hightail it out of there. It's going to be confusing for them. So have a note on your website if you're in the process of rebranding or the rebrand is on the way, so that they know, even if it's on the little sticky bar at the top, just so that you're being 100% transparent. You can put it in your email signature. You can put it in when you're doing your email marketing campaigns, put a little PS. Remember that we're excited to announce blah, blah, blah. We're rebranding. Expect to see some changes. So count down, give them a date to work towards. All right, so number 3, and this is probably the most exciting and the biggest way that you can leverage. So in combination with 1 and 2, you can run a giveaway or promote a special offer to celebrate your rebrand. Make it big, throw a party, go live everywhere. Make it a really big deal so that you can have the most reach as possible. Giving a giveaway, for example, where people have to tag their friends in your post, will mean, or even if they have to fill out a form on your website, this will equal more visits to your website, more brand recognition, more awareness of the change, more visibility. It will, facilitate good vibes, act of goodwill, and inevitably more traffic to your website will increase cash flow. But certainly by promoting a special offer or a giveaway, or even if you had a giveaway and then after the giveaway has been announced, you could then run into a special offer promotion based around what the giveaway was about. So lots of ideas, but really it all just comes down to being smart about the rebrand process and keeping those people close inside the fold, making them feel like they're part of your inner circle, and then celebrating with them with something really special. So if you're in the rebranding hot seat at the moment, or you've been thinking about rebranding, I do encourage you to get in touch with me if you have any questions about the process. I am an open book. You can chat with me on Instagram, Rachel_brand mentor, or send me an email if you're on my email list. And honestly, once you make the decision and seek the right support, it should be a genuinely fun and enjoyable experience. And not only that, rebranding is a smart business decision if your existing brand is sending the wrong messages or is misaligned with the future of your business. The sooner that you can recalibrate, the better off you'll be. And the sooner you'll start seeing a financial return on your investment. All right. So don't forget to save your seat for my Design Secrets Masterclass. Do it now before you carry on with your day. I cannot wait to share my insider tricks of the trade with you to help you elevate your own design skills in your everyday marketing graphics. Head to the link in the show notes or rachelwriter.com/design secrets. If you found this episode inspiring or helpful, I invite you to share the link with another woman in business or someone who needs to hear this message. Every woman we can support to grow a meaningful, profitable brand is another woman who is free to live a purposeful life for herself and be more present for her family. None of us are alone in the challenges we face in business, but the solution can start with a gift from someone else, and it could be a podcast episode just like this one. Thank you for listening.